I have a blog and now a YouTube channel that talk a lot about frugal living. So why is that even important to me? That's what I want to talk to you about today. Hi, I'm Rebecca from the Tex-Mex Mom. And today, since my YouTube channel is somewhat new, I wanted to I'll give you a little background and talk about why frugal living is important to me and kind of explain how I got to where I am today and how we handle budgeting and all of that in our family. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all, my background. I grew up in a family of 13 kids. I am the second oldest in my family. So it probably goes without saying that if you have a really big family, like my family, being frugal is going to be important, right? I mean, that's a lot of mouths to feed. So I learned a lot about being frugal just from watching my parents, especially my mom. She is and was just really good at making frugal meals that would feed a lot of people. She was very good with her grocery shopping, just her spending in general. She kept really careful track of my family's finances. And so just seeing her example, I think really taught me the importance of spending money wisely and not just spending like crazy. We also hardly ever went out to eat. I know we would for sure go out to eat for Mother's Day. And then if we were going on vacation or something, we would stop and get food like at McDonald's or Wendy's, but always the dollar menu. So we were very frugal. And that's how I grew up, and that's what I was used to. Then when I was 15, or just shy of 15, about a month before I turned 15, I got my first real job with a paycheck, and I worked that job and then later at a different one all through high school, and I saved really almost every penny that I made for college. I would, besides spending on like some clothes I needed, gifts for people, stuff like that, I pretty much saved it all. I was a saver, and I was able to pay for my own college. Now, I still don't know how I got out of college with as little debt as I had, and it's definitely God providing. Like, it wasn't just my hard work. Like, He definitely provided, because I mean, college is expensive, as you know, and I'm still amazed and blessed that I was able to get out with as little debt as I did. But yeah, so I was just very much grew up with the mindset of working, saving my money. After college, I went home for a year and worked to pay off my debt and to make money to pay for our wedding. And we got married. We spent about $3,000 on the wedding, on everything. That's including my dress. So we were able to do it very frugally. And again, God provided people who were helping us out, just with all aspects of the wedding and everything. So it wasn't just us. I do want to say that, but again, it was all very, very frugal. Now, they say that a lot of times marriage is between a spender and a saver. And I think that's definitely the case for us. Now, I do want to clarify that, because I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I'm this amazing saver and Pablo just spends all this money, because that's not the case. I would just say, he's more of a spender than I am, and I would be more of the saver. And when we first got married, I definitely came into marriage with kind of the idea that we were going to be like strict Dave Ramsey followers, which, if you don't know who Dave Ramsey is, he's a Christian financial guy who shares a lot of good advice about getting out of debt and stuff. And so I kind of had that idea in my head, and we made a budget when we first got married. And when Pablo would spend something I didn't know what he spent, I would be like, okay, how much was it? Let me plug it into our budget. Oh, you shouldn't have spent that. It wasn't in our budget. And I was I was a little intense, I think that you could say. And Pablo was very, very patient with me. But I definitely thought that budgeting had to be a certain way, my way, because we always think that our way is best, right? So we've been married almost 12 years now, and I have slowly learned throughout our years being married that I like to have control of things. And I'm learning to, I guess, loosen my fist, right? And let go of my need to have it exactly how I think is the right way. Because in marriage, we are a partnership, and I think our strengths and our weaknesses complement each other in a lot of ways, and we really help each other out. And I think we've had a lot of experiences and made a lot of memories that we wouldn't have if Pablo hadn't pushed to do it, because I was like, oh, we shouldn't spend the money. So he has really brought that to our marriage, that sometimes it's worth spending the money on certain things that maybe I wouldn't have. So anyways, all that to say, the way we budget and everything isn't maybe how I would have thought it would have been when I first got married. And it's probably not how it is for some of you guys. The way everyone handles money is going to be different. And I think it's really important not to compare ourselves to other people. I can compare myself to people who like spend like crazy and I'm like, oh man, we're so good with our money. But then I can compare myself with people who keep this really tight budget and never overspend. And then I can feel really bad about myself. Like, what am I doing blogging about frugal living? And, we don't stick to a strict budget. But that's just an easy trap for me to fall into. And I have to not do that because everyone has to do what is right for their family and what works well for them and their spouse if you're married. So the way we do things right now is we don't have a really strict budget in the sense that we have a certain amount for each item for a month and we never go over it. We have a basic budget, a basic idea of what we need for each month, right? And then Pablo looks at our finances pretty much daily and keeps an eye on what we're spending, what's coming in, what's going out. And so he very much does not have his head in the sand, which I think is the most important thing. He's keeping an eye on everything for us, which I really appreciate because it's nice that I don't have to be paying attention like he does. So he really keeps a good eye on our finances. Can't say that word. He keeps a good eye on our finances for us. And then for our groceries, like I've said in previous videos, I have basically a budget for myself of, right now it's risen to about $150 a week. And so for now, that's what I'm trying to keep my spending under $150 a week. However, sometimes we go over, or, I'm the main grocery shopper, the main grocery person in our house, but sometimes on the weekend, Pablo wants to go out to the grocery store and get some stuff. Sometimes he feels like cooking, and he wants to make some stuff that, I hadn't bought the ingredients for earlier in the week. So he's going to do that. And that's fine. I have learned that I need to not have such a tight rein on that grocery budget. Like, no, it wasn't on my budget. It wasn't on my list. So you can't buy it, So sometimes, I will just spend less the next week depending on what he bought. Or sometimes it's just, I stayed within my grocery budget and then that's just extra because he wanted to treat us to steak that he bought, or, he wants to grill chicken and he went and got chicken, or whatever the case may be. So I guess that's basically how we do it. Like, we're not super strict budgeters, but we are trying our best to be frugal, to stay out of debt, and to be wise with our money. So yeah, I don't really know how to conclude this video exactly, but I guess I wanted to encourage you guys that if your budgeting doesn't look exactly like somebody else's, it's okay. Everyone's going to do things in a different way, and there's no one right way to do things. So while we don't have a super strict budget that we adhere to like exactly every month, we do have some things that are really important to us. The big one is really trying to stay out of debt. That is very important to us. We had credit cards for a while. We don't think they're evil or anything. But for right now, we have one for emergencies, but we generally avoid using credit cards because we just feel like that is best financially for us. It's also really important to us not to have a car payment, and so we just drive used cars. We've had 2 cars at times in the past. Right now we just have 1 car, and that is working fine for our family, and that's what we're able to afford, and we would just really prefer to avoid the car payment. So those are a couple of things that we're very united on, and I'm thankful for that, and I think that those are good financial I can't talk. I think those are good financial decisions for us. I do want to do better at tracking our grocery spending so that I can see not just, oh, I stayed within budget this week. I want to be able to look at how much I spent for a month, how much I spent for the year, and just keep better track in general. So that is something that I'm hoping even just sharing these things on YouTube will help me to do better at, that I will just have a better idea of what my family is eating, what we're spending, then if I'm stockpiling some stuff, how much I need to stockpile, how much do we even eat in a month? So those are some things that I want to get better at. And I'm hoping that through YouTube, I'm going to be learning from some of you guys commenting, and hopefully the accountability of me sharing what my spending is will help me to get better at that. Now, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Are you really strict budgeters? Do you just kind of fly by the seat of your pants? How do you do things with groceries specifically, but then in general? Do you have a tight budget? like where you have categorized every dollar you make, or yeah, how do you do it? I would love to hear. And again, I think the important thing is doing what is best for our families and doing the best we can, right? And not comparing ourselves to other people, but just being willing to learn from other people. And I think we can all just slowly get better together. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for being here. I will be back with more videos about grocery shopping and meal planning very soon.